Thank you for coming out. It's a great day here in Northville.
Northville has a rich and varied history.
It's hard to imagine Northville without its trees.
Trees provide a lot of benefits in our community.
And when the elm tree had to be topped, community members were so upset.
It just seemed like a real shame to do away with it, and at the same time we saw an opportunity to celebrate all the things that make Northville a unique and wonderful community in which to live.
I would hope that visitors to the tree first and foremost take the beauty of the tree and the appreciation for the timeline that the tree has seen in our community, and also take away an appreciation for the art, the design work that I put into it, the carving that Mr. Fink put into it, and the passion that the tree organization and the community in general has seen for the love of this elm tree.
There are lots of reasons that Northville needs to have a good tree canopy. Just improves their general quality of life.
I would like people who see the carving to come away with a deeper appreciation for trees in the community and in their lives. You know, unfortunately, we tend to most appreciate trees only after they're gone.
But I think as people see the carving happening, as they learn more about the project and the design, I think it's only natural that their curiosity will cause them to want to learn more.
When people first see the carving, it's my hope that they'll first appreciate the rich art that I believe it will portray, and then look closer to the stories that it tells as it progresses through Northville's history.
We hope to get people involved even more.
And that it becomes a focal point for people to understand how our community works together.
It's been quite an ordeal. It means a lot, I know, to the city especially. It's just incredible.
Well, there are lots of reasons that Northville needs to have a good tree canopy. It just makes life in Northville better. If you come from the east and heading west and come into Northville on a hot summer day, if you take a second, you'll feel the temperature drop. It's just a lot more pleasant for everyone. And trees increase real estate value by between 7 and 15%. That's documented. That's something that everyone can relate to, I think. And it just improves their general quality of life. Stormwater runoff is a big problem. Trees help in terms of shielding the ground from excessive rain, and then they absorb more water, so that they're a big help in that regard too. I'm Jim Porterfield, founder of the Northville Tree Champions and retired arborist. I started the Northville Tree Champions in an effort to preserve more trees than would have been done if we weren't around, and promote tree planting, get more trees planted, and we want to educate people so that we preserve some. We have some magnificent older trees in Northville, and if we could preserve those, that would be quite an accomplishment.
Being a member of the Northville Tree Champions is important to me because of my personal interest and passion around environmental topics, sustainability, ecology, and I see being a part of this group as a way to carry that passion, which I practice in my own home, in my own garden, and take that to a larger venue, which would be the community I live in. And it's a way to exercise that passion and express it and be supportive of that mission and make a difference in my community for something that I care about.
I'm a member of the Northville Tree Champions because Northville has just incredible tree canopy as a city, and I wanted to contribute to sustaining and preserving and protecting that. And when I heard that the group was forming, I got involved and have been happy to meet the people who are similarly involved and share a similar passion. And I'm pleased with the amount of good work that the group has accomplished in a very short period of time.
Got lots of other things going on too, like tree carving.
One project came about quite inadvertently. A year and a half ago, it came to my attention that the beautiful old elm tree in the green space behind the City Hall and library was to be taken down. It was a unique and special tree. It was a hybrid called an Augustine ascending elm. It was 110 feet tall or larger. If it were laying flat on the ground, it would have touched the flagpole or the corner of the post office over there. It was just an amazing tree. Despite the city's best efforts, it finally succumbed to Dutch elm disease. One of our members, I think it was Eric, suggested that we make a sculpture out of it, out of the remaining trunk.
My name is Lisa Schoen. I'm a resident of Northville and a member of the Northville Tree Champions.
My name is Eric Candela. I'm a member of the Northville Tree Champions.
And I'm a co-chair on the elm tree carving project.
I hope that the elm tree carving project will help people throughout the city of Northville develop a deeper appreciation for their tree canopy.
I see the tree, this project is first of all an art project. It's a public art project. And I think with any piece of art, there's the aesthetic of it, the interest of it, because this is an homage to Northville history and culture. People will engage in it in that way, and they'll see it as a piece of art, they'll see it as a message, but what I hope people are able to do is connect with the deeper meaning of what this project is, and that is that this is a tree that was felled and because of disease, and we are using this as the canvas to celebrate Northville, but it's a tree. And I hope people will see that deeper meaning of what this is, that it's an homage to the tree that had to be taken down.
Because while we're kind of using a tree that needed to be cut down for the work, it stands as a testimony to all that trees contribute to our quality of life. We're using it to celebrate the history and culture of our city. But at the same time, we're calling attention to the fact that it's a tree and there are trees like it throughout the city that add to the quality of our life in innumerable ways. I would like people who see the carving to come away with a deeper appreciation for trees in the community and in their lives. Unfortunately, we tend to most appreciate trees only after they're gone. And so hopefully by using this trunk, it can stand as a reminder to people that trees are valuable and we should cherish and protect and preserve them while they're alive. If only because they take so long to grow to maturity and to a size that we can really look at them and with wonder and awe.
Hopefully with that awareness, they'll be more sensitive to the care of their own trees. Maybe somebody will decide to not remove a tree just because they feel it's in the way, or they're tired of picking up the leaves every fall, which I call the tree tax, the tree beauty tax. Or if they're doing construction, that they will take the tree's health into consideration.
That's one thing that I hope residents take away or visitors take away. Another thing is just, we live in a fabulous city. We're blessed to have a very rich culture and history. If the carving can help people become more familiar with that so that they develop a little more civic pride, that'll also be a great thing.
My name is Shannon Carroll, and I'm the Executive Director of the Northville Art House. I first learned about this project last fall at a volunteer fair at the Northville District Library, and someone approached me and said, would the Art House ever consider working with a new 501c3, the Northville Tree Champions, on the tree carving project? And being located right across the street from the library and from the space where the tree is located, it seemed like a natural collaboration for us to come on board and be a partner in this project. So we were really excited to get involved right from day one, really, in terms of helping to think about what design should go on the tree, but most importantly, who the artist might potentially be who would create the rendering of what would be carved onto the tree.
This is something I've said since the beginning, is that we need to make sure that the artist is, or that the carver is comfortable and wants to work from an artist's rendering.
So we have a great network of artists here locally in our community, and we were able to reach out to some of them to find the right person to get involved in the project.
Hi, I'm Stacy Pearson. I run Stacy Catherine Art. I'm a botanical illustrator and a scientific illustrator, and I work primarily in graphite and watercolor. I was interested in participating in the Elm Tree Project because, number one, first and foremost, I love nature. I'm a botanical illustrator. I'm passionate about the outdoors, and this project marries my love of art, nature, and also history together in one project.
Asked that she develop a sketch based on the ideas and images that we had come up with, and then also one just kind of conveying artistic license.
The two have merged.
Okay, that's fine. It's a dynamic process.
Yeah. My task was to create the design work for the elm tree carving. We came up with ideas based on a list of important historic places in Northville, where you're having these different scenes. I separated each scene. It might be hard to tell. I thought about doing some watercolor, but it would not be true to what you're going to eventually look at. You have the water wheel here. My inspiration for the work came from both Greek columns and also our town, our community, the history that's here, all of our important landmarks, and really marrying everything together in a way that was dynamic and exciting and interesting for the community to see on a daily basis.
Well, she had a rough idea. Originally, we were talking about a possible owl because the stump was a little wider at the top. I was going to do a wings out owl with holding a large book for the library here. And then I was going to do 3 little owls holding one book. But as it turns out, we ended up with the Mustang on the top, and we're going to do a bunch of relief carvings in a spiral up to the horse. But we're going to cut the horse off around the hips just to support that weight.
The story isn't necessarily a linear story as it moves around the tree, but more of touch points for the community on things that they either see every day, or also maybe some history that they may not know and they would be able to learn about by visiting the tree.
I think that the carving shows the importance of the arts in Northville civic life because it is front and center in our community. It's on a corner and on a piece of land where nearly every car that drives through town will drive past it. So it's really putting art and history and our community front and center for everyone to see. As someone who grew up in Northville, it's really exciting for me to be part of this project and to think about all of the history involved in our city. And I've learned a lot through this project that I didn't realize having grown up here either, in terms of Stinson airplanes and the Bell Foundry and everything like that. So it's really exciting to see all of that coming together in the carving.
I would hope that visitors to the tree, first and foremost, take the beauty of the tree and the appreciation for the timeline that the tree has seen in our community, and also take away an appreciation for the art, the design work that I put into it, the carving that Mr. Fink put into it, and the passion that the tree organization and the community in general has seen for the love of this elm tree as it perpetuates through time.
So where are we in the process of this carving?
Oh, probably about halfway through the horse. I got the legs roughed out, starting to do some of the stomach. I have to take it down around the hips, and I've got a log laying on the side here. I'm going to carve a tail out of it, carve a wedge in it, and insert it once I get everything else cleaned up. But it's coming along pretty good. Just Just have to keep tweaking. I got the legs rough, now I'm starting to round them off and clean all that up. And coming along fine.
For this project, one of the most exciting and challenging things is to partner with another artist and to be the forefront of the project and the design work of the project, and then sort of relinquish the drawings to another artist who's going to implement that design onto the tree in a different format. So this has been a marriage of two artists together, and it's really an exciting process, and also one that I'm very much looking forward to seeing the end result. I'm very proud of being involved in this project.
I think one of the ways that the carving can inspire more interest in art and design in our community is because of its location. It's right next door to the library, where you can go and check out books about famous artists or learn about wood carving. It's right across from the art house, where you can take art classes. Sadly, not wood carving classes yet, but maybe this will inspire that in the future.
It's been really cute with a couple different classes of preschoolers out here. They ask a ton of questions.
But I think as people see the carving happening, as they learn more about the project and the design, I think it's only natural that their curiosity will cause them to want to learn more.
People are here in Northville because of its heritage. We have some of the oldest growth trees around.
Northville has a rich and varied history. From the times it was first incorporated, from the lumber industry and the furniture industry and the bell foundry industry and the racing. We've had a variety of activity that is added to the life of the Northville community, and it continues today.
Trees and the canopy have been extremely important to Northville. We have one of the oldest canopies in the state of Michigan. We had national tree champions here. We've had state tree champions here because of the 200-year history that we've been around, and we built the town around the canopy too.
The maturity of the trees in the community, I think, indicate the longevity of the community. And that's an important part of our community. We have this village here and many of the historical things in town because of a group of women who saw the value of not only things like the trees, but also the buildings, and sought to preserve them.
I've always been advised growing up to remember what's around you and sustain that.
And so by preserving our trees and the longevity of these fine growing beauties that we have in our town, I think we maintain the integrity of our town.
I think Northville's tree canopy is so important to the feeling of the community, just the history of the community. You see very tall trees, and you know those trees have been there a long time.
The tree canopy demonstrates that Northville's commitment to conservancy and to the nature of trees in the community is important to them, and their stewardship is important to them, especially to the overall aesthetic of the city.
The trees really give you a sense of the history of the community and how long it's been here. And you know, the trees are like witnesses to the history of the community.
My name is Paul Snyder. I'm the Executive Director of the Northville Historical Society. When we first heard about the project, the opportunity to get our message out of history in the form of an art piece with other organizations in the community was very exciting to us. It helps carry our mission of preserving and educating folks on the history of the Northville area.
Brian Turnbull, fortunate and privileged to be the mayor of Northville, Michigan. 5 generations from this area, the Turnbulls have been around, so trying to do everything I can for the city of Northville. This carving of one of the oldest elms in the state of Michigan will probably bring to light all the trees we have. We have tree tours with QR codes and guided tours and self-walking tours. That will be on that tree tour.
My name is Maria Williams. I'm the Assistant Library Director here at Northville District Library. The library has been so excited to participate in the elm tree carving project because we love the park next door. We can see it from all of the eastern facing windows of our building. We use the park, we host events in it, our staff eat lunch out there. And a lot of people incorrectly believe that that's library property. So we get all kinds of questions about activity that's happening in the park. And so we feel very invested in it because we're neighbors to the park and the tree.
My name is Mike DeFrancesco. I'm currently just a member of the Northville Historical Society, a resident of Northville for 50 years. We're interested in anything that is going to reflect on the history of our community. And so the tree carving certainly is going to show that we have a long history. And so the Historical Society feels that it's great to reflect our history in any way we can and keep the community informed. And it's going to be a signpost that will allow the community to know what we have had here in the past.
And what have we had here in the past?
Well, we're one of the oldest cities in the state of Michigan. We've been a city for 10 years before Michigan was a state. We're here because of the natural beauty, our water, our landscape, and our trees.
Well, we've had a growing community. Started out with a couple of mills on a river, and it blossomed into a lot of industry because of the river that's around us here. And we're currently sitting on what used to be a mill pond and filled in, and it indicates the effort of the community to establish itself as something permanent.
We don't want trees to be hit by lightning and come down, but when they do, we want to repurpose them. And that, like I've said, is one of the largest elm trees that got hit by lightning and was going to be brought down. We kept that at 20 feet, and we're engaging and looking at the history of Northville, our tree canopy, the history of the water and the topography and where we've come.
I'm so pleased that the tree did not have to be completely cut down, and that the trunk was able to be maintained and can be turned into something so beautiful. Because the day that the tree was topped, we heard from so many people who came into the library that they were so sad at the loss of the tree's canopy. And so it feels like a preservation of the part of the tree that could be saved and maintained, which just feels like a very Northville thing to do.
When people first see the carving, it's my hope that they'll first appreciate the rich art that I believe it will portray, and then look closer to the stories that it tells as it progresses through Northville's history. The symbol of the Mustang on top, I think, carries a message that overall shows that we are one community.
I think the library will use the carving in our programming and to enhance the experience of people who are using the library, because people will get to enjoy viewing it while they're in the library. And we do have all sorts of art in the library that people can view. Our central staircase has a beautiful clerestory that has a piece of fiber art that's been hanging there. We actually have a small sketch by Henri Matisse that's in our fireplace area. And people like to walk around and see the art that we have in the library. And now they'll be able to view the carving from our eastern facing windows. And also we host story times in the park, and we have events in the park, and people check out books and go sit on a blanket and read in the park. And now they'll get to do that with a beautiful tree carving there. It will just enhance the experience for everyone.
What I think the carving will say 50 years from now is that we paid attention to our history, and that we hoped to mark a time when the community came together to show how important the cultural and historical values of the city wanted to be demonstrated.
There of course is a very long history, particularly in children's literature, of reading under a nice shady tree or reading by a nice tree. And I don't know why reading and a tree go so well together, but they really do. And so it's just particularly lovely that we have it right next to the library. And people, we see it all the time in the warm weather. People check their materials out from the library, and then they go sit in the park and play and have lunch. Or we often put the storybook walk around the park in the warmer months. And so they'll walk around and do the storybook walk. and they just, they go together like peanut butter and jelly.
It's been quite rewarding as we're bringing even more trees back, 50 to 100 a year. We're a Tree City USA. We're very pleased to be part of that, and going forward in the future, we want people to understand, our relationship with our natural resources, the water, the topography. We're the highest point in Wayne County, and also the tree canopy around.
And that tree obviously had a long history in Northville, and to recycle it as a piece of art, I think reflects the tone of the community, that we're always looking to continue to use things to the best of our ability, and that's what it does. I think it's going to show us some history through the carvings that are on it, and it's going to make people question, why is that there? And maybe they'll seek out the answers. Being next to the library is a perfect place for them. Seek out answers, and they can also come over here to the Historical Society and seek answers as well.
It's my hope that the carving will last for, several years to come.
We hope to get people involved even more.
And that it becomes a focal point for people to understand how our community works together.
Well, we were the primary funder of this project, which fit in nicely with other projects that we've done so far. Not going to go into those, but they're all about building community and supporting communities and parks and things related to getting people not just to pass through the area, but to stay and commune with each other. This project fit the mission of Northville Community Support Fund, which is to promote community, and by having a place that people can bring their family, bring their guests, bring their friends to Northville, point out the past, and again have a reason to stay in the area rather than to pass through. We thought that was so important, and that was really what drove us to say unanimously, let's support this project to the extent we can.
What I would like to add is my endless appreciation to the Northville Community Support Fund for really priming and making this project go. And then of course there's been lots of people on the Northville Tree Champions that have done just remarkable work in terms of paperwork and guiding it through the process. So those are the things I'm thankful for.
This project was very interesting in the amount of collaboration and support that came from different organizations within the community. And I personally was very impressed with that. I didn't think, we're just kind of a little teeny tiny startup organization with a handful of people. Northville Tree Champions, what are we about, maybe just about a year now. And to create such momentum and support from the community, all the partners that are engaged in this, I think is really amazing. And the fact that the Northville Community Support Fund not only just heard about our request for support, but really came through for us is a huge statement, and I think it really says a lot about Northville as a community.
I think one of the hallmarks of this project has been the collaboration that's existed within the community. The tree stands on a prominent corner immediately behind City Hall and adjacent to the library, across the street from the art house. And of course, in the carving, we're celebrating the history of the city, and just the way that the Historical Society and the library and the art house have all come together to kind of program the design and the purpose of the tree has been very gratifying. Another thing that is really gratifying is the support that the Northville Community Support Fund provided to fund the project and make the work possible. We're a new nonprofit, and in a small city. It would have been hard to raise the funding necessary to make this work possible without the Northville Community Support Fund. So we owe them a deep debt of gratitude.
I'm Eric Candela. I'm with the Northville Tree Champions, and I want to, I guess explain that trees provide a lot of benefits in our community. Obviously, we enjoy their shade and their beauty and just the way they break up the landscape. And so we were, kind of inspired to do this project because this tree provided a lot of different, value and benefit here on the corner next to the city hall and the library and the post office over the years. And it just seemed like a real shame to do away with it and not have any memory or anything like that. And at the same time, we saw an opportunity to celebrate all the things that make Northville a unique and wonderful community in which to live. And so that's the kind of inspiration behind the project and why we're here today. We have just 3 speakers. It isn't going to be a long program. And so I'd like to invite the president of the Northville Tree Champions, Jim Porterfield, to come forward. Jim is a lifelong resident of Northville, and if I can, just a quiet force in the community. He's been instrumental in helping to adopt a new tree ordinance and has done a lot of stewardship work in the community over the years, and I'm proud that he's the president of the Tree Champions and has helped to lead this project.
Thanks, Eric. Appreciate it. It's always been it's a dream come true for me. I get to do a warm-up act for Mayor Turnbull. So I'm going to do a little soft shoe shuffle. Me and my shadow. Just kidding. No. I'm Jim Porterfield. Good afternoon to everybody. Thanks for coming out. I'm the founder of the Northville Tree Champions. It's a nonprofit 501c3 dedicated to the preservation of Northville's trees and overall tree canopy. We do this by increasing appreciation and awareness through education and protecting and planting of new trees in the Northville area. It's hard to imagine Northville without its trees. I mean, think about it. They add so much to our community. The shade that we're enjoying, the effect on property values, and they just give the town a warmy, welcoming feel. And I think we all can understand that. The Tree Champions has been involved in a number of projects since our inception, but one project came about quite inadvertently. A year and a half ago, it came to my attention that the beautiful old elm tree in the green space behind the city hall and library was to be taken down. It was a unique and special tree. It was a hybrid called an Augustine ascending elm. It was 110 feet tall or larger. If it were laying flat on the ground, it would have touched the flagpole or the corner of the post office over there. It was just an amazing tree. Despite the city's best efforts, it finally succumbed to Dutch elm disease. One of our members, I think it was Eric, suggested that we make a sculpture out of it, out of the remaining trunk. Well, here we are a year and a half later, and after a ton of work, we have this amazing sculpture. We knew we would need help with this project, so we reached out. As so often happens in Northville, a number of groups stepped up to the plate, and I want to give them thanks and recognition now. They included the Art House, the Northville District Library, the City of Northville and its DPW, the Historical Society, and the Garden Club. Great thanks to all of them. They are examples of the wonderful community spirit that we have in Northville. It's just amazing. When something needs to get done, people step up to the plate in Northville and get it done. It's tremendous. So I give special thanks to those folks. I also want to thank our student videographer, Aurelia Calabrese, who plans to produce a documentary video about this project. And most importantly, we must thank the wonderful artists who created the sculptures. We thank Stacy Pearson of Stacy Catherine Art. She's a Northville resident and a wonderful artist who came up with the initial concept for the sculpture. And of course, we must thank the chainsaw sculpture artist par excellence, Thomas Fink. Thank you, Tom. Amazing what he's done. And his company called Cut and Carve in West Bloomfield. Tom's amazing skill is evident here. I mean, just look at this thing. I'm just amazed. Tom worked tirelessly for over 6 months. It's remarkable, just remarkable, Tom. Thank you so, so much.
Thank you, Jim, and thanks for emphasizing the importance of collaboration in making this possible. I once saw a definition of collaboration that was succeeding together, and I like to think that that's what we were able to do here. I had help along the way in addition to Jim, and I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge Lisa Schoen for helping to, just organize everything that needed to be organized. Everything about what we're doing here today is something that Lisa helped to organize, and I'm grateful to you. Similarly, if you're here, you probably heard about it as a result of efforts of Tammy Sartor, who is here. She did a wonderful job, getting the word out to the media and different press outlets and to you folks. And so a lot of good help from people in the Tree Champions group. Next, I would like to introduce Robert Holzhauser from the Northville Community Support Fund. I'm going to maybe borrow from Peter Drucker a little bit. He famously said that which gets measured gets done, but in reality, that which gets funded gets done. And so without the support from the Community Support Fund, we probably wouldn't have as much to talk about today, and I want to invite Robert up.
Hi, thank you. I heard the word community 7 times, and I'm going to talk about community a little bit more. I'm the treasurer of the Northville Community Support Fund. We collected public funds and we use them for projects in the community that progress the spirit of community in the Northville area, including Northville City and Northville Township. And we thought when we were approached with this idea, this is a perfect opportunity to fulfill that mission of expanding community in the area. When you think about the tree that lived here being hundreds some odd feet tall, it had its own community, right? It had birds, I'm guessing. It had squirrels, I'm guessing. It might have had bats. It probably had aphids and beetles and things we don't like to talk about. But it supported the community. If you look back at pictures of Northville, there's a lot of pictures of people under trees, like you all are right now, under the shade, taking advantage of the shade of the trees. But some of those people in those pictures were very important. People returning from the war, people getting dolled up and going to the opera, people, I bet there's more than one picture of this tree in a prom picture or a graduation picture from the day. So this tree, when it was living, supported the community, not just people, but the community of nature itself. And in terms of the people, I think when I think of the storyline here, this tree lived a good life, supported community when it was living, and now that it's no longer living, it's going to continue to support our community through the stories of the past, thanks to the artists and to the tree champions who made this happen. But it's going to support the community. All of you can bring your friends and relatives when they come to the area, and you can show this off and brag a little bit about the history. You can learn about the history. I didn't know we had streetcars, for example, so I'm learning about the history, and you all can learn about the history and share it and tell stories. And through understanding the past, you can help set dreams for those little ones that are setting the future. And I think community, it's all about community. As treasurer of the club, I would say, I'd be remiss if I didn't say we are collecting still. You could find us on the website, and no check is too small, no check is too big, I have to say that as treasurer. It's not about our club today. It's about dedicating this tree, the artistry, and the hard work of the Northville Tree Champions. Eric, am I going to you or to Brian? I'm going to pass it back to Eric. Thank you all for your support, and congratulations to your team for making this happen.
Thank you, Robert. It's very well said. Before I introduce our next guest, I want to acknowledge a couple people that are with us. We have Councilman John Carter and Councilwoman Barbara Morosky Brown, who are with us. The city played an important part in this project. We're on city property. This is a city green space, and the council approved the work that we've done here, and so we're grateful to you both for your support and that you're here to celebrate with us this afternoon. Next, I'm going to introduce Mayor Turnbull. He really requires no introduction because he's wearing a funny hat, but also because he's just such a champion of both the city and of this project. There were times along the way where, you know, a little grease between the wheels was necessary, and he provided it, whether it was with the city or the support fund or in some other way. And then he also worked closely with Tom in forming, you know, some of the icons and images that appear on the tree. Everyone here, I'm sure, knows that history is a real passion of the mayor's, and so he contributed in that way as well. And you know, we're just so grateful for all of your support and the fact that you're here with us now. And I invite you to come forward. Thank you.
I think it's really appropriate. We are celebrating this tree on the same weekend that we have our Victorian Festival. We're celebrating 200 years of history. My grandparents back 100 years ago, they were historians in Northville. My dad, who was the greatest storyteller in Northville, was a historian, and some of his stories are true too. But from that standpoint, I always think we have to know our past to project what we want to do in the future. We are doing so many things in the city for the future. We're from a 5-generational family here. I'm trying to get it ready along with the other council members for where we're going for the next generation or so. And as you look at the tree, you can see the images, what Northville was all about over the last 200 years. So it's truly my honor and privilege to go through 2 proclamations. I kept the governor busy last week. I would like first all the tree champion folks to come up here. We're going to cut a ribbon of life. So, and if I could have that, and the 2 councilmen, Barbara Morosky Brown, Mayor Pro Tem, and John Carter. And how about the grandkids too, to help hold the ribbon for generation. And anybody that's on the tree championship group, the tree champions around there, great, super. Why don't you come over here, Eliza? Why don't you go on that side? And you hold that really tight, okay? And then I'm going to unroll this. We're looking pretty official, aren't we? Okay. So if you would hold that back. And let me just read this, and then we will all cut this, and there's a big scissors of life here. Okay, great. We will all be touching that. So it's a twofer here today. You're going to see Thomas Fink, who was a carver. We're going to do a quick little proclamation for him too. But this is a mayoral proclamation from the city of Northville for the Northville Tree Champions. Whereas the Northville Tree Champions group was rooted in the sustainability team and now has blossomed and grown into a nonprofit citizen-led group of nearly 100 individuals. That's all with all your friends too, don't you know? And whereas the Tree Champions promote tree appreciation, protection, and preservation of our legacy trees. And this is one of the legacy trees, one of the largest elms in the state of Michigan, an award-winning elm. We had multiple ones here. We've been trying to keep this alive for a while, haven't we, Jim? Yeah. Whereas Northville's historic elm tree in City Hall Park, marked for removal at one time, has been transformed into a work of art. Special thanks to the combined support of the Tree Champions, the city, Norfolk Art House, District Library, Historical Society, Garden Club, and the community leaders. And whereas Stacy Pearson, is Stacy here? Where is she?
She's not.
Oh, I'm giving her a lot of accolades here. Whereas Stacy Pearson's outstanding design brought to life key historical markers from the community's almost 200-year history. And we owe her a debt of appreciation for her dedication to the sculpture from concept to reality. Somebody might help you with that, Evie. Is that good? Hang on tight. Whereas Thomas Fink's background in metal design and experience in carving brought Miss Pearson's drawing into a three-dimensional reality. If you walk around, it's unbelievable the detail on this. I'm hoping all the kids don't climb up it, but it's great detail in the whole bit. A transformation we have witnessed really over the last 6 months from Thomas, and financially backed by the Norfolk Community Support Fund that was mentioned previously. And whereas all these folks have created an outstanding tribute to Norfolk's legacy elm tree and the community's rich history. Now, therefore, be it resolved that as the mayor of the city of Norfolk, I, Brian P. Turnbull, concurrent with the governor of the state of Michigan, do hereby proclaim September 23rd, 2024 in the city of Norfolk as Northville Tree Championship Day. So congratulations, Jim. So now all of us, somebody from the Tree Champions, that is yours officially. Let's hold this nice and tight, and everybody come in here. If anybody's going to take a picture, this is picture time. We will all be touching that. Do it nice and tight. Can you pull it, Eliza Lynn? Can you pull it, Evie James? 1, 2, 3. Woo! Congratulations! Congratulations. This is the Kodak moment. Thank you, ladies. Thank you. Congratulations. I'd like Mr. Thomas Fink and his entire family to come up here, part 2, and if the Mayor Pro Tem can stay, Barbara Morosky Brown on one side, and also John Carter. We have a twofer proclamation here today. So let's do that again. Come over here. Hold it really tight. Yep. Really tight, because they're going to keep that ribbon. So this is your scissors of life with all your family, and you hold it really tight, you two. They've been practicing all week, don't you know? So the whole Fink family. So again, this has been a 6-month great opportunity. I sit right up there where those 3 kind of doors are. I look every day and I come down and see Thomas and we look at it, and he had a little bit more room, so I gave him a couple more things maybe to go in on it. They kept coming to see what was Northville all about. So I've been working with Thomas and Stacy over the last 6 months plus and trying to assist in any way I can, trying not to get in the way of it. So with this, let me read this proclamation of life again. This is a twofer. It doesn't happen very often with the governor. I had to sweet talk to him. So, mayoral proclamation from the city of Northville to Thomas Fink. Whereas Thomas's journey as a wood carving artist followed in the footsteps of his Swedish grandfather, whose work can be found in churches and schools around the greater Detroit area. And whereas Thomas's background includes experience as an auto body designer, working with sheet metal and with wood. And whereas Thomas has participated in numerous carving competitions, including 15 years at the Plymouth Ice Fest. And whereas Thomas has transformed the last magnificent award-winning elm tree in Norfolk City Hall Park into a lasting sculptural tribute of the history of our hamlet in the hills, or Switzerland of Wayne County, for all to enjoy. And now, therefore, be it resolved that as the mayor of the city of Norfolk, I, Brian P. Turnbull, concurrent with the governor of the state of Michigan, do hereby proclaim, for the second time today, September 21st, today, 2024, in the city of Norfolk, as Thomas Fink Day, given under my hand this 21st day of September, 2024. Thank you very much. So nice and tight, step back, hold it, both hands,
And everybody come in. Oh, Thomas's relatives, hang on. Okay, hold it tight, Eliza Lynn. You ready? And everybody's touching it or pointing to the scissors. 1, 2, 3. And that's your ribbon of life. I would keep that on that too. Congratulations. We are so appreciative of all your time and talents. I don't think you realized, we didn't realize what a work of art is going to be when it was done. It's outstanding. I thank each and every one of you for letting him have his time and talents here. And you'd rather be water skiing or doing other things in places. So thank you so much for all you've done for Northville. I've heard from hundreds of folks, and you've heard from all the kids as they come around here, what a fantastic touch point this is. We really, again, have to know our past to plan our future. We're doing a lot of things in Northville together with the council, the futurists, Barbara Rowski-Brown and John Carter and the others. But we can't do that without knowing where we've been. So I thank each and every one of you. In Northville, we have 6.5% of all of our people on committees or boards or task forces. The only way we can do things is because each and every one of you are involved. So thank you very much. Thanks for being here today. Appreciate it.
I'll conclude just by thanking all of our partners, the Art House and the Garden Club, the Historical Society, the library, and the Northville Community Support Fund, as well as the city itself, and each of you for coming out today. Thank you, and I hope you have a great day.
Thank you.
Final product here. It's been quite an ordeal. It's been great working with the city. It's just been an overwhelming thing all the way around. I'm proud of what I've done, and I just really enjoyed working with everybody from the city. It's just incredible. It means a lot, I know, to the city especially. But I've had a lot of great interaction with people who just came up to discuss it. It's been a learning experience for me, and now that all the projects, the icons are on there, a lot of people have learned from that too. I can't say enough about it.
What are things that people can do to preserve trees in downtown Northville? Right. Think twice before you take down trees. A tree can be taken down in a matter of hours, even a big tree. It becomes a matter of signing a check. But yes, you think about what you're doing and reducing the shade, the cooling effect, the stormwater runoff. Just the enhancement of life in Northville is improved by having big trees. It's the feel of Northville. That's what makes Northville, one of the things that makes Northville so inviting and friendly and welcoming is some of the older and irregular housing stock and architecture, but also that treescape. It's a totally different feel from other places that you might go that don't have trees alongside the streets and that are big and beautiful and cool things down. So think twice before you take a tree down and plant trees.